Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a rooster, which was another request. I get a lot of requests and have over a year's worth waiting to do, and I'm trying to get through them as quickly as I can. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, this one, the size is 17.5 centimeters by 15 centimeters, or 6 3/4 inches by 6 inches. The medium rooster, crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook, is 10.5 centimeters by 11 centimeters, or 4 inches by 4.5 inches. This small rooster, crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook, is 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters, or 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton today, and I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll be using Catona cotton today. I've got 401 dark teal, 383 ginger gold, 208 yellow gold, 254 moon rock, 115 hot red, 162 black coffee, and 189 royal orange. If you didn't want your rooster as colourful, you could leave out some of those colours. I have a 2.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle to weave in the ends, scissors. I'll be using a white bead, and I've got sewing thread and a needle to stitch it together, and the black is to put a small black dot in the middle of the bead, but you could use a black paint dot if you'd prefer. We'll start at the top of the head there. I've got my 383, the ginger gold, and I work 4 chain. For row 1, I work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet, put your hook in the stitch, the second from the hook, and bring up a loop. Yarn around the hook and take the hook with this yarn at the end through both loops. Then we work 1 double crochet in the next stitch. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop. Yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. Yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through the remaining 2 loops. Then we work 1 single crochet in the last stitch. The different stitches just gives it a bit of shaping. And that's the first row worked. For row 2, we start with 1 chain and turn our work. We work 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and 2 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 3, we start with 1 chain and turn our work, and work 1 single crochet in each of our 5 stitches. For row 4, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. And for row 5 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 5 stitches. For row 6 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 6 stitches. So work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 7 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 7 stitches. So work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 8 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each of the first 4 stitches. One half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and 2 half double crochet in the last stitch. Now we're starting on the little feathers sticking down at the bottom. We start with 4 chain. We miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. For a slip stitch we put the hook into the chain, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook, and then 1 slip stitch into each of the last 2 chain. And then we turn the head around and work a slip stitch in the next stitch, the first stitch along the last row, and then we work 3 chain. We miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch into each of the remaining 2 chain, and slip stitch in the next stitch along the last row. And we're going to repeat that 4 chain, miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain, and slip stitch in the next stitch along the last row, and then we work 3 chain, miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain, and then slip stitch in the next stitch along the row. So we've got 1 with 4, 1 with 3, then 4, 3, and we keep working like that. 4 chain, miss the first chain and one slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch in the next stitch along the row, and then we work 3 chain. And we just repeat that across to the end of the row. Next I work 4 chain. And for the last one I'll work 3 chain. And I slip stitch in the last stitch. And that's the head done, except for the neatening row. For the neatening row I'm going to work a slip stitch in each stitch, up around the top and down to the beginning of the feathers. So I just find a suitable place to put my hook and work a slip stitch, and try not to pull it too tight. I want my work to stay flat. Now I'm just at the top of the first feather there, so I fasten off. And that's the head worked. Now we'll work the rooster's wattle now. That's just this red part just below the beak. So I've got my 115, the hot red, and I make a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and the long end over the short end to make a circle. Then I put the yarn around the hook and bring my hook with this yarn at the end through the circle, and there's my magic loop. Then I work 1 chain and I work 5 single crochet in the circle. I pull the circle tight, so I take hold of this tail and ease the circle in. And I join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. So this stitch here next to the chain. For row 2 I start with 2 chain, and I'm going to turn my work so that the last row will be on the right side and I'm going to work 1 half double crochet in the same stitch as the chain, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For row 3 I start with 2 chain and turn my work, and I'm going to work 4 half double crochet cluster over the 2 stitches. So I put the yarn around my hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, then yarn around the hook into the first stitch again and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and yarn around the hook into that last stitch again and bring up a loop. I've got lots of loops on the hook. Then I put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops, and I fasten off. And that's the wattle done. Now for the comb, I'll also be using the 115, the hot red, and I work 4 chain. For row 1 I work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 2 we start with 3 chain and turn our work. We work 1 double crochet in the first stitch and then work 3 chain, and we slip stitch in that first stitch with the double crochet. Then we slip stitch in the next stitch and work 3 chain. We work 1 double crochet in that same stitch and work 3 chain and slip stitch in the same stitch as our last double crochet. Then we slip stitch in the next stitch and work 2 chain. We work 1 half double crochet in the same stitch as our chain and work 2 chain and slip stitch in the same stitch as our half double crochet and slip stitch into the last stitch, and we work 2 chain. We work 1 half double crochet in that last stitch, work 2 chain and slip stitch in the last stitch, and we fasten off. And that's the comb. Now for the beak, I'll be using the 208, the yellow gold, but if you prefer you could use the same colours for the beak and the legs. Now I make a magic loop, for row 1 I start with 2 chain and work 1 half double crochet in the circle. and pull my circle tight. For row 2, I start with 1 chain, I turn my work and work 2 single crochet in the stitch. And for row 3, I start with 1 chain and turn my work and work 1 single crochet in each of the 2 stitches. And I fasten off. And that's the beak done. Now for the body, I'm starting right at the top there, and I've got my 401, the dark teal, and I work 8 chain. For row 1, I miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. I'll have 7 stitches. For row 2, I start with 1 chain and turn my work. I work 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. I'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and I'll have 9 stitches. So work 2 single crochet in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 3, we start with 1 chain and turn our work. We'll be working 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 3 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 12 stitches. So we work 2 single crochet in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 3 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 4, we start with 2 chain and turn our work. We work 2 half double crochet in the first stitch, then we work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the end. We'll have 13 stitches. For row 5, we start with 1 chain and turn. We'll work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 14 stitches. So work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet in the last stitch. And then we work 3 chain. That's for the part down the back. For row 6, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in the 2 remaining chain. Then we work 1 single crochet in each stitch along row 5. We'll have 16 stitches. For row 7, we start with 1 chain and turn. We're going to work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. So we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet in the last stitch and we'll have 16 stitches. So after our joined single crochet, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 8, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Then we'll work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last 2 stitches, We'll work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches and we'll have 16 stitches. So after our 2 single crochet in the first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch till we have 2 left. and work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 9 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, then 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch, and work 2 half double crochet in the last stitch. For row 10 we start with 1 chain and turn, and we work 1 single crochet in each of the 16 stitches. For row 11 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the end. We'll have 15 stitches. For row 12 we start with 1 chain and turn. We'll work 1 single crochet in each stitch till we have 2 left. We'll work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches, and we'll have 14 stitches. So 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last 2 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 13 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, then 1 single crochet in each stitch to the end. We'll have 13 stitches. For row 14 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last 2 stitches. We'll work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches and we'll have 12 stitches. So 1 single crochet in each stitch until we have 2 left. And work a joined single crochet over those last 2 stitches. For row 15 we start with 1 chain and turn, and we work 1 single crochet into each of the first 10 stitches. For row 16 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 10 stitches. For row 17 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. We miss the last stitch. For row 18 we start with 1 chain and turn our work, and we work a slip stitch in the second stitch. So we miss the first one and slip stitch into the second stitch. Then we work 1 chain. We work 1 single crochet in the same stitch as the chain, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. We miss the rest of the stitches. For row 19 we start with 1 chain and turn our work. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And that's the rooster's body done, except for the neatening row. We're not going to turn before the neatening row. We can work 1 chain and work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. Into this point here, near the point, we work 1 half double crochet and 1 slip stitch. And then into the bottom, that corner there, I'm going to work 1 half double crochet and a slip stitch. I'm just giving it a little bit of a wavy, feathery look around the back. And then into the next point, I'll work a half double crochet and a slip stitch. And then into the corner at the bottom, I'll do the same, one half double crochet and one slip stitch. And then I'll slip stitch up to this next corner. And I'm going to work one chain here and then slip stitch in the same stitch just to make it a bit of a point there. I'm going to work the tail along these stitches here, and then I'll work one slip stitch in each stitch to the end of the row. So I'll continue with my neatening row right back to where I started, just in there, and I'll fasten off and weave in my ends, and then I'll be back and we'll work the tail. Now that's the neatening row for the body finished and the ends woven in. Now we're going to start on the tail. We join just in the point there of that section, so just in here. I've got my 401, the dark teal again. And I work 4 chain. I work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. I'm just working these little feathers at the bottom of the tail. Next I work 5 chain. I work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. And then I work 5 chain. I work a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. And then I work 7 chain. I work a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, one single crochet in each of the next two chain, one half double crochet in each of the following 2 chain, and 2 double crochet in the last chain. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the stitches along the top of these feathers. So just find a suitable place to put your hook and work a double crochet. Just evenly across there. Work a double crochet in that first chain at the end of the feathers, and then we'll slip stitch into the body where our work meets. So in about there I'll miss 2 of the slip stitches, and then I work 1 slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches up the side, and that's row 1 done. We turn our work, and for row 2 we work 1 double crochet into each of the first 5 stitches along the top. Two half double crochet in the next stitch, one single crochet in the following stitch, and then slip stitch in the next stitch, and we work 7 chain. That's for the end tail bit. Now for row 3 we work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, 2 single crochet in each of the next 2 chain, two half double crochet in the following chain, one double crochet in the next one, and 2 treble into the last chain. A treble is a double treble using UK terms. For a treble, put the yarn around the hook twice, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, and then yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 more loops. We need 1 more treble in that last chain, and then we're going to work along the top here. So we spin our work around and we work 2 treble in the first stitch along the top. Then we work 2 double treble in each of the following 2 stitches. A double treble is a triple treble using UK terms. You put the yarn around the hook 3 times, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook and through 2 more loops, yarn around the hook and through the last 2 loops, and we need one more in that same stitch, and then 2 more in the next stitch. And then we work 2 treble into the next stitch, one double crochet in the following stitch, one half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And then slip stitch into the next stitch along the top and fasten off. And that's the tail done. When I weave in the ends, I'll just either put something heavy on that one to hold it down, or I'll give it a press to hold it down. So that's the body and tail. Now for this top part of the wing, I've got my 401, the dark teal, and I work 4 chain. For row 1, I work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, that's a treble using UK terms, and 1 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 2, I start with 1 chain and turn my work. I work 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and 2 single crochet in the last stitch. Now we're going to work these little bits at the end of the wing bit. So we start with 1 chain and slip stitch in the first stitch. Then we work 3 chain and slip stitch in the next stitch, and 3 chain and slip stitch in the next stitch, and we'll repeat that, 3 chain and slip stitch in the next stitch, and one more 3 chain and slip stitch into the last stitch. And that's the wing part done, the top wing part done, except for the neatening row. We're going to just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch just around the top part back to the bottom of row 3. So you could start with one chain if you prefer to make it easier, and just work a slip stitch in each stitch, just up around the top. My arthritis is very bad today, so I'm having trouble bending my fingers, and neatening rows and joining is a bit hard. And that's the top part of the wing done, so I'll fasten off. And that's the wing. Now for this bottom part of the wing, I'll be using my 254, the moon rock, and I start with 10 chain. For row 1, I miss the first chain and work one slip stitch in each of the next 3 chain. Then one single crochet into each of the following 3 stitches. And one half double crochet in each remaining stitch. For row 2, I start with 2 chain and turn my work. I work one half double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. One single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And one slip stitch in each of the following 2 stitches. I leave the last stitch, and then I turn my work and work one slip stitch in the second stitch from the hook, one single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and one half double crochet into each remaining stitch. And that's the bottom of the wing done. I fasten off now, but I've forgotten to bring my scissors back after using them before. Now for the rooster's feet, one's worked in this section here and the other's worked in this section. I've got my 189, the royal orange, but if you prefer, you could work your legs in yellow or even the ginger gold. So I'll work this one first. I'll join in about the middle, and I work 7 chain. They both work the same. We miss the first chain and work one slip stitch in each of the next 3 chain. That's for the first claw. And then we work 4 chain. We miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each of the remaining 3 chain. And then in the back of that first claw, so that's stitched there, and then we work 4 chain. This is a bit fiddly, and we miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And in that same stitch in the back of the first claw. And we've got 1 more claw to work. We work 4 chain. We miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And the back of the first claw. And then we work 1 single crochet in each of the chain up to the body. And slip stitch in the body. And fasten off. And when I weave in the ends, I'll pull the claws into the shape I want them. I want the back one going to the back, and then I'll probably weave these other 3 together slightly, like that. And the other one is work the same. I join in this other section and I work 7 chain. I miss 1 chain and work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 3 stitches. And then I work 4 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And a slip stitch in the back of the first claw. And then I work 4 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch in that same stitch at the back of the first claw. And we have 1 to go, 4 chain. We miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch in the back of the first claw. And work 1 single crochet in each stitch up to the body. we slip stitch into the body and fasten off. And that's the feet done. For these lower back feathers, I've got my 383, the ginger gold, and I start with 11 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 5 chain. And then I work 7 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And I slip stitch in the next of the original chain. And then I work 10 chain. I miss the first chain and work 1 slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch in the next of the original chain, and then I work 8 chain. I miss the first chain and work a slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch in the next of the original chain, and then I work 6 chain. I miss the first chain and work a slip stitch in each remaining chain. And the next of the original chain. Then I work 5 chain and miss the first chain and work a slip stitch in each remaining chain. And slip stitch into the last chain and fasten off. And when I weave in the ends, I'll weave them together just a bit more. So that's the lower back feathers done. Now for these top back feathers, I've got my 162, the black coffee, and I work 5 chain. For row 1, I miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. For row 2, I start with 1 chain and turn. I work 1 single crochet in the first stitch, then I work 2 chain and work 1 single crochet in the next stitch and work 2 chain. Work a single crochet in the following stitch and I work 2 chain and work 1 single crochet in the last stitch. For row 3, I turn my work and I work 1 single crochet in that first 2 chain loop, and then I work 2 chain and work 1 single crochet in the next 2 chain loop and work 2 chain and work a single crochet in the last 2 chain loop, and then I work 2 chain and work a single crochet in the top of the first single crochet from the previous row, that last stitch there. For row 4, I turn my work and work 1 single crochet in the first loop, and then I work 3 chain and work 1 single crochet into that next loop, and I fasten off. Now this is the right side here, so I'll weave in my ends on that side. So that's all my pieces worked. I'll just weave in the ends and I'll be back and we'll put it together. Now there's all the pieces. I've got the body, the head, the beak, the comb, the lower back feathers and the top back feathers, the wattle and the 2 wing pieces. The first things I'll do is attach the 2 wing pieces together. The top goes over the bottom piece, and I'll attach a bead in the center of the circle, just there. The hole goes at the top and I stitch down in 4 places. Next I'll put a small black dot in the center of the bead. I'll just put a knot in the bottom of the black cotton and stitch it through, and I'll attach the wing to the body. The back of the wing goes just where the tail starts, so about there. Next I attach the lower back feathers. The back edge goes near the tail and then stitch them up the side. I just do about 2 rows along the top and leave the rest unstitched. And I attach the wattle to the head. This edge goes over the edge of the head and not sloping back too much, so in about there. Next I'll stitch the comb in behind the head there, about there, and the top back feather goes in around the wing. This flat section goes down the flat section of the back, and this side goes around the wing. So in there. Next I attach the beak just in, the top goes to the top of the wattle there and down along the side. So just in there. The last thing I do is attach the head to the body. So in around there I stitch the feathers down for the head. So I'll stitch the head on and I'll be back to show you the finished rooster. And there's the finished rooster. The size is 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres or 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns, the details of my Facebook group and the details of my Patreon. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.